Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Astrid Asks, episode 13. We're still writing on this, right? And we have to do a Taylor Swift shirt for episode 13, as you can see there. Um, well, I figured today I kind of will let her introduce herself because she does a lot, and I don't want to miss anything. But I wanted to welcome Samira to the show. How are you, Samira?
I'm doing good. How are you? I mean, you're repping a
Mm,
13 and I'm like kind of repping
yeah.
myself.
Hey, I love
But
your
I
shirt though.
love
You gotta
that.
rep yourself too. There you go.
I
There you
was
go.
like, this is like what I was thinking when I was doing my design. I was like, I want to do a microphone somehow. And I thought, I don't know, I think it would be cool with like how the I is in my name. It will do like the chord and it just fits.
It really does. I'm like, I see it that way. And I was like, I like how I can read Samira, but I can also see the microphone there. And I was like, right
Yeah,
on brand for you.
love it
But I
so much.
figured for anybody that doesn't know you, what do you do in, like, I want to say, the wrestling media world, if you want to call it that?
So I've branded myself as everyone's favorite correspondent as I
Mhm.
do backstage correspondence work on the independents or even like ringside wherever they usually need me. I also do ring announcing. I usually do sometimes do interviews on my channel. Haven't done them in a hot second, but I vlog backstage all my shows usually now. I do a lot. Hosting, whatever it is, just not commentary, not really comfortable, but maybe we'll ease into it. But I kind of try to do a little bit of everything in the independents and then, some YouTube stuff as well.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to say it because I didn't want to miss anything of everything you do. And I'm like, I know you do the ring announcing, you did the backstage interview, and was like, just in case there's something I missed there, I prefer you saying it so you know everything you do, and obviously you're not gonna miss anything on that camera. um, but no, it's like I've been wanting to interview you because I've been like watching you for a while now, and you're one of the people that has made me realize how hard you can work and how you can earn what you're doing, based on the work that you're doing so far. And it's inspiring to like see how hard you're working and how you say how you're doing a little bit of everything here and there and the experiences that you're making. So that's why I wanted to like interview you for quite a while now. But I wanted to begin by getting a little bit of your background to go like that. um because to me, once I don't know that part of you, but like I wanted to know, once like, what was that moment of like that you became a wrestling fan?
Well, thank you first for those kind words. That truly means a lot to me. You have no idea, and I'm so happy I could like even inspire people that want to like do this as well. So that makes me so happy to hear. What made me like a wrestling fan was it was growing up. My family was really into wrestling, so my grandfather, when he was alive, would come home every Saturday and they would watch wrestling on the TV. So my uncle got into it. So then, as me and my brother were growing up, my uncle would like have it on the TV, and he had like Raw 2 on the Xbox. So that's how I kind of gotten into it. And like from there, I just like ran with it, and I just like was so obsessed with it, especially my teenage years. Like I loved it, and of course like not a lot of girls my age, and especially at my
Mhm.
school, nobody liked wrestling, and I was just like, it was just me, and everybody knew me as like the wrestling girl. But I loved it. I didn't care what anybody else thought. It was just something so great.
Did you have like a particular moment that made you want to like continue watching it as you were?
I don't know. Like when I started watching wrestling, the whole reason why I think I loved wrestling, and it's my favorite superstar, Randy Orton. I always mention him in probably every interview that I do. He was probably the sole reason I started watching wrestling. I just like loved how he was and his character. He was such a great heel, and as the years that go on and how he does heel and face, he's just great to watch, and I love it so much. And it was him and John Cena around that time. That's when they hooked me into wrestling and kept me going from when I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Now that like think about it from this aspect, what's the best like experience or interaction that you had with a wrestler so far?
Like working wise, or if like when I was like a fan, I'm still a fan, but like when I before I got in the business.
I would say both of them because it's two different like perspectives to me when it comes to that.
So before I got in the business, I actually did meet Randy. So that like was like a full circle moment for me. Like the person that I like love to watch so much, like the biggest reason. So he was very nice. I had a sign at a local I can't even talk at a live independent, not independent meet. I can't talk today for some reason. I'm like the talker and I can't talk. At a local WWE show around my area, I had like a sign like take a selfie with me. Like I was so excited. I was like hoping he'd notice me, and he did. He came, took a picture with me. I was like so excited, and like intermission started. the selfie comes out a little blurry, but I don't care. Like I was just like over the moon. I post it. All my friends are excited. Show starts back up again, and a security guard comes up to me. He's like, "Are you Samira?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm just sitting here thinking, "Am I about to get kicked out? Like, how does this security guard know my name? Like, what's happening here?" He goes, "Randy saw the picture online and it came out blurry. He wants you to come back and take retakes." And I was like, "What? What?" And all the people around me are like, "What?" And I'm like, of course, like, and like, my mom was sitting up like in like the hundreds or 200s or something, and I'm like on the phone with my mom as I walk back. I'm like, "Mom, if you don't see me, I'm going to take a picture with Randy right backstage." And she was like, "What?" And like I go back and I get to like meet him and talk with him for a little bit, and it was just like, oh my god, and he was like the nicest guy ever. I was like, that literally probably like made my whole entire life at 15 years old. And he was just really nice. I'd love to meet him again one day. I haven't met him since then. I would love to meet him again, and like my dream is definitely to interview him, sit down and interview him because he's just great. Um, I would say now after like now that I'm in the business and now I like work with some of the people that I grew up watching or I've met them and oh my gosh. I always love seeing Melina any chance I get. She's been so sweet. I remember like I said, I used to watch these people on television all the time. Like her, and then I saw Chris Masters. He's such a nice guy. Like everybody's just so nice. I've never really had a bad interaction with
Mhm.
anybody, but those people come to mind. Mickey James as well. Oh my god, she is
Yeah.
such a sweetheart. Such a sweetheart. Oh my god, I could probably go on and on and on. If you can tell, I think that's why I'm in this business. I talk way too much.
No, but I feel like that one with Randy is it's definitely such a special one. Like I don't think anybody could have a story like that. To be honest, it just that's incredible. It's like after that, I would have like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't need to be anybody else. Like I met my person. That's how it's been with me with like Rollins. It's the person that I've wanted to meet out of the guys. And ironically, my brother works at the airport, and he saw him, and he was like, "Oh shoot, I wish I could take a
Oh.
picture with him, but I don't want to bother him at the airport." So it's one of those moments like it was close, but not close enough. But I definitely would like to meet him. But I met a couple because I'm in Orlando, so I met a couple of them at the airport when I worked there before, and even going to like the NXT live shows when people like Bailey and Emma were in NXT. And even I went to a Raw show and they had a table with people from NXT, and it was like Corey Graves was there and Paige was there and Sami Zayn. It's like taking pictures of them before they got to what they are and who they are now. It's incredible to think about when you see their journey so many years later. So I can imagine how you felt like not seeing him not once but at least twice in one day. Like that's the record.
It was just like it's still like when you even think about it, you're just like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like that happened. What? It's still like kind of crazy, but it was very nice of him to do that when he didn't really need to do that at all.
Yeah. I wanted to like transition over to talking more about being part of the community there. So, how has it been for you being a female in the wrestling community that's such a male-dominated community?
I think it's been, very supportive. I have such a great support system around me from friends. And then when I've entered the business, I've been making so many friends. I like to say I'm a social butterfly. I love people. So I just feel like a great sense of support around me. I got a lot of people that do believe in me, want to see me go farther. And feedback, that's so important. I feel like it's also hard within the business sometimes for broadcasters because you're surrounded by all these wrestlers. Sometimes they don't know the nitty gritty stuff that you really need feedback on. So it's nice that you have other broadcasters that you can reach out to and just like get that feedback because wrestlers will tell you you do good and you do good, but it's just like that nitty gritty. What could I have said better, or like could I have been louder in the ring? Could I have like said this like in a different way? So I always like look out for that. Like any of my stuff, I love to go back and watch, even though I don't like to hear myself. But like it's
Yeah.
good to critique yourself to know what you can do better for yourself. And it's nice nowadays. There's so much more women in this business, especially in the broadcasting roles, because like you said, it is a male dominated sport, not just in wrestlers, but in the broadcasting side. So it's been nice to see, especially along the East Coast here, there's a lot of women that are getting into it. And, we stand together, we're all trying to help each other out. And I love that. Even though we're all trying to, work a show like and it's always like you're trying to get to that one spot, but I love the sense of like camaraderie. Everybody's not like coming for each other's necks. We just want to all succeed together, and I love that.
Yeah, and talking since you mentioned feedback, is there anybody that has given you like what has been the best advice you received so far, whether it's broadcasting or even doing your interviews or anything like that?
Ooh, okay. I've when I started at Titan, actually, Steve Monster Mac, who's been in the business many, many years, he actually has been giving me some advice, as well as PJ Savage. Like as soon as like I got there, Steve was giving me some because he knows like TV stuff as well. And this was probably my favorite advice that we joke about it every single time that we see each other. So if I'm wearing heels, or if like, or I'm just like taller than one of the wrestlers, even if I'm not wearing heels, of course you got to make the wrestler look bigger, that's like just how it is. So if I have to spread like my legs, and like so I'm like standing out, like I'm gonna like try you can't see me, but I'm like spreading out so I can
Yeah.
look shorter, so then like from like
Mhm.
if you from waist up, they look like they're taller than me. So I never knew that before until I started working with Titan and Steve had told me that. I'm like, huh. I'm
Mm.
like, that's some good advice. And I'm trying to remember what else. Like, and I always like remind myself I used to do school choir growing up, and diction was always like a thing, because like that kind of
Mm.
also helps, like diction, enunciation, and that helped me travel into the broadcasting side. So I remember, okay, like maybe I could do this exercise before I start to help with my diction or something to enunciate better. I'm trying to remember if anybody else like has told. I know people have told me things that I'm just like kind of blanking, but I know
Mm.
that one was a funny one to share.
Yeah, that one I seen little things like that on TV as well. So it's interesting when somebody tells you, you don't realize it until you're in that place and you're like,
Yeah.
I know that, but I didn't realize that I have to do it as well. But like thinking back of like what you're doing now is like there was a particular moment that you said I want to try like ring announcing. I want to try like doing interviews. Like, do you have a particular moment that you were thinking about doing and you just decided to go for it?
So when I did like interviews on my channel, like well, when I was just doing stuff on my channel, like it was just prediction videos and stuff. You're not gonna find that now. I kind of I've privated all the videos because I feel like I'm embarrassing. But when then I made the jump to interviews with wrestling websites, and then
Mm.
I remember was 2021, and I was, things were starting to open back up again. And I had for a while felt like I really wanted to join the business side. I was like, I'd love to do backstage interviews, but I'd also like to do ring announcing. I feel like that was good. And I was like, I felt like I was like, okay, like let's see what if anything will come out of that. I really want to do that. So I reached out to Sam Laterna, who's an amazing broadcaster. I swear and she's so nice and so helpful. I love her so much and I look up to her. I remember reaching out to her and like, telling her, I'm like, hey, like I'd love to, work in the independent some way. Like, can you give me feedback on like how I ring announce or something, or like, and like maybe give me suggestions, maybe where I could work or like help out somewhere. I'd love to do so. And she was extremely helpful, and that's when I made the jump to Camp Leapfrog, and that's where everything started. I knew in that moment when I was graduating from college, that was also that time that was happening. And I was like, I really want to try this out. I think I can do that. I think I feel like it would be really fun for me. I enjoy what I do behind the scenes here on camera, but I would love to maybe do it in person and see how that is. And now the rest is history.
I am like thinking back of what you said of like your journey so far, like being announcing and doing everything you do. And it's like, I would say, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's like debating about doing something similar or like that similar path that you're in right now?
Just do it. Don't even question like, can I do this? I don't think I can do this. Jump in and do it. You have to chase after your dreams and what makes you happy, because if you don't, like you're always gonna wonder or you're never gonna know. And I just remember I was like, I need to do what makes me happy. And if that's wrestling, I'm gonna jump after it and go for it. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like I said, I reached out to Sam. She was extremely helpful. And I'm anytime anybody reaches out to me if they want feedback, and I'm like, oh my god, you want to reach out to me, like out of out of everybody. But I love helping people. Just chase after what makes you happy, do the work, like study whoever it might be. I mean, I study Renee Paquette, I study Kathy Kelly. I love looking at Sam. Alicia Atu who has been around for many years when she does also music too. Like study whoever it is to see, how you could phrase things or how to say things differently. There's so many things that you can look at, and I still do that. Like, you're always learning. That's like the most important. You want to learn, but again, do whatever makes you happy, because I'm so happy. Like, when I go and do what I have to do, I'm extremely happy. I don't feel like I'm working because I love what I do so much.
Yeah. And thinking of like with like the basically like the bubble of everything you've done so far, is there anything you haven't done that you kind of want to try?
I've been ring announcing more lately, which I'm like super happy about because I wanted to do more of that. Like, now I'm starting to get in the hang of it. Um, I did commentary once, and it was like like the matches were already pre-recorded and we just had to go over it. And I said after that, I don't know, I don't think commentary was for me. However, I don't want to give up that easily, so I would still like to try it out, like maybe with one of my promotions that I'm at, like do it a test run with like one of the matches if they are open to it, if they're, if that's where it goes. I don't want to just like give up on something like that easily just because I just like, okay, you just need to get better. You just need to learn and keep going. I think, maybe the door's open for that. Maybe managing. I mean, I don't want to get in the ring. I always say
Mhm.
never. I always say never. Never, not never have I ever. Never say never to like
Yeah.
wrestling. I do want to learn how to bump. I feel like that is very important to learn the basics at least. But I maybe managing. I feel like that would be also cool. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what everything has in store. I'm down to do whatever to learn more about the business. I love what I do. So maybe there's other opportunities down the road.
Yeah, thinking that also like how it is in the community, like how do you have any goals or things that you obviously like I said kind of you haven't done, but you kind of thought to yourself in X amount of time I would like to try this and do this. Do you have any kind of goals like that?
So I have a couple of goals like kind of that I've set for myself. I think like it's not like maybe a medium term goal. I would love to do be a broadcast colleague somewhere in the Middle East for a show, especially like Lebanon, because that's where all my family is from. I'm Lebanese. I think that would be so cool to do. So hopefully one day that will get to happen. I really want to sign with well, major term goal, like way off, like, whenever the time is right, I would love to sign full-time wrestling broadcaster with major wrestling company with a TV deal, be their correspondent or ring announcer, whatever they feel, whatever, when the time comes. Ultimate dream right there. But like a short-term one that I'm hoping to come up soon, to work with one also that is maybe not like obviously the major companies, but the ones next down that have like at least some TV experience, so I can, get some TV experience. Like, what's it work like working for TV than indie? What do they do different, so then I can learn that side as well, so I can get that experience. I think that's what I'm hoping to do next whenever, the time is right.
Yeah. And before I let you go, I know we mentioned Randy earlier on, but aside from him, since you mentioned him already, do you have any other people that do you have for like dream interviews, for example?
Orton's definitely number one.
Yeah.
um oh my gosh, I know Triple H. I feel like Triple H has had like the most, like, oh my god, his career is just insane as well, like Orton's. I think he would be cool. Oh my gosh, like so many names come to mind. I'm trying to think of like women as well because there's a lot of women. I think AJ Lee,
Mhm.
if she
Yeah.
ever like does like something like that, I would love to talk to her. Like, she, even though, oh my god, I just wish she would, come back hopefully one day. But she's so amazing at what she does. Um, oh my god, I would still love to sit with Mickey James. I've seen her so many times. I've never gotten to actually like interview her, and I would love to do that. I would love to like talk to her. Oh, Michelle McCool. I loved like Cool growing up, so that was like, oh my god, she's amazing. When I saw her in the Rumble like this past year, I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
yes, Michelle, you still got it. So many people come to
Yeah.
mind, but hopefully, whatever's down the road, I would love to bring back my interviewing back on my channel as I've, brought back the vlogs, and it seems like
Mm.
everybody likes that. So maybe, with time, I want to hopefully now bring back the interviews and we see what happens.
Yeah. And for the people that don't know you, where can people find you on social media? What do you have going on coming up? Hopefully, we'll release this the weekend of Backlash. So, do you have anything on around that weekend or a little bit after? Where can the people find you? And what do you have going on in your channel coming up that people you think people should check out?
Well, thank you for having me on. Everybody, you can find me at my link tree. So it's like linktr dot or linktr/ee or something like that. Link tree. Just look it up, and then it's Samira. You probably can see it on the screen.
Mhm.
Right here, you'll find everything, links to my channel, my Twitter, my Instagram, everything's there. As of the time we are recording right now, I have a show this upcoming Saturday, May 6th, for Smashmaster Wrestling in Pennsylvania. And then May 7th, I'm back down in Boca Raton, Florida for Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. Following week, I'm off. And then my next booking, which will be my last two bookings of May, is May 20th for Goddesses of War Wrestling and Titan Championship Wrestling, since they are under the same entity. So I will be there for that show. And then the summer's looking pretty hot. So I'm really excited about that. As for channel wise, the vlogs will still come. I love to vlog my shows and like the day of. It's just super fun. And hopefully we'll have some other videos going up as well. There's this video I really want to do, so hopefully that will be coming in the month of May. So stay tuned. Just there's a lot of things coming, so you might want to just hit the follow button on that and
Mhm.
just come along.
Yeah, I want to thank you for being on with me and taking a little bit of your time from of your day off to have this interview with me. Said I've been wanting to interview you, like I said earlier, for quite a while and get to know you a little bit better from what we see on social media from you. You're definitely, like I said, one of those people that I see online and what you're doing. Is like I want to do that too. It's like I wish I had the guts to do it. But you have those moments of like even if it's like I don't want to be a ring announcer because I don't feel like that's a thing that I could do. But you inspire me to think like, oh, I can do this, so I can decide to do that, or I can learn from her in this aspect, and that's how I see it from like different points of view. But yeah, it's like you're one of the people like in like the wrestling community as one of the ladies that I see. Was like I wish I could do what she does, but I know I can't. But it still like it's like you said, it's something that we cheer each other on and what we do, and we like to share it online and think of like I'm happy for you what you're doing because it's your dream.
Oh,
So it's nice to see that too. But no, thank you for being on here with me today. And everybody, if you haven't yet, there's a playlist already with my past episodes. If you haven't seen them, this is episode 13 now coming up. Hopefully, we'll have another one coming up really, really soon. Working out to see what who the next guest will be. But yeah, thank you for watching. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, and then we'll see you next time. Bye.